The hospital mixed up my differentiation test results with my archenemy's. Clueless. I smugly taunted him. Hey sweetie, call me big bro. Then my differentiation kicked in mid-sentence, collapsing me into Jason's arms. His overwhelming top-tier alpha pheromones made me whimper through tears. Jason, I'd rather die than let you mark me. His dangerous gaze softened as he coaxed. Just one bite, kitten. It'll ease the pain. Celebrating my impending alpha status, Luke and I threw a rager at the club. Evan's treat tonight. The crowd roared, bass thumping through champagne showers. I lounged between two betas, slamming back tequila shots. Luke hip-checked a dancer while shouting over the music. Evan, you're playing with fire, messing with Jason. I drained another bottle. What's he gonna do? Cry omega tears? Jason, my childhood nemesis, turned campus overlord. Our families forced us together since diapers, but instead of friendship, we perfected the art of warfare. While I partied through high school, he narked on my cigarettes. When I skipped lectures, he dragged me to class by my collar. But karma's a beautiful bitch. This week's lab results showed me as alpha, him as omega. Sweet vindication called for tequila. The rabbit-eared omega nuzzled my neck, syrupy pheromones clogging my airways. Let me comfort you, Mr. James. My knees buckled, but I forced a grin. You're way sweeter than that Jason Ice Prince. Luke suddenly clamped a hand over my mouth, nodding toward the shadowed VIP entrance. Jason stood like marble against the strobing lights, tailored coat swallowing the chaos around him. Our eyes locked across the writhing crowd, his stormy gaze tracking the omega's hand on my thigh. Unhand me. I'm perfectly. My protest died as Jason manhandled me into his Maybach. He leaned across to buckle my seatbelt, all pressed wool and wintergreen scent. Home. Then morning lectures. Home? The penthouse our families made us share? Lectures? From the human syllabus app? My neck burned as the suppressants failed. Stop parenting me. You're not my fucking boyfriend. Jason paused mid-click, his jawline inches from my lips. Aren't I? The low rumble sent heat coiling through my veins. He didn't let go. I was practically trapped in the crook of his arm, close enough to feel each other's breath. His scent enveloped me, crisp and icy, like wandering through a pine forest. Since when did my rival smell this good? Do all omegas have this allure? I pressed myself against the car seat, fighting the inexplicable urge to pounce. What? I gritted out, looking for a fight? Evan. Jason loomed over me, his fingers digging into my jaw as he forced me to meet his gaze. You reek of someone else. His voice dropped dangerously. If you were my boyfriend? He leaned closer, each word glacial. You wouldn't leave that bed tomorrow. Bed? My face burned. Jason, need I remind you? I laughed bitterly. You're the omega here. If anyone's getting pinned to the sheets, it'd be you. To reclaim my alpha pride, I suddenly yanked his collar, bringing our faces inches apart. Satisfaction curled through me as his pupils dilated. Jason, purred, dimples flashing. Do all omegas smell this sweet? That pine forest musk. Did you finally present? I licked my canine, mischief sparking. Come on, sweet thing. Call me big brother. The prolonged silence made me regret my taunt. This crossed the line, even for our rivalry. I released him with a huff. Relax. It's a joke. Who'd want some hulking omega to? Jason's hand clamped around my wrist, brutal enough to make me gasp. Evan, his voice roughened. When did you start smelling me? Just now. Why? My words slurred as dizziness hit. My limbs turned leaden, panic rising when I couldn't break free. Let go. We're not even bonded. You can't. Enough. Jason rarely raised his voice. Your first heat cycle is starting. Heat? That's an omega thing. Before I could argue, my phone blared with a call from Central Hospital, where we'd gotten our secondary gender tests. Fumbling with the speaker, I heard frantic apologies. Mr. James? Our intern mixed your results. Mr. Ford presented as alpha last year. Our prediction shows you'll present as omega within. The phone clattered as Jason floored the accelerator, swerving toward the nearest isolation suite. By the time he carried me through the door, I was shaking violently. My cardamom scent saturated the air, cloying and unrestrained. Jason secured the room while keeping me anchored against him, updating the hospital through gritted teeth. This is the Omega's phone. He's undergoing spontaneous presentation. Yes, I'm his alpha friend, currently administering emergency support. Terror blurred my thoughts. My skull throbbed. Through the haze, Jason's cedarwood scent deepened, dark and possessive, as his arms tightened around me. Is this what an Omega's heat feels like? The scorching fever, the suffocating dampness, the complete loss of control. My body becomes a battered raft, mercilessly tossed by overwhelming waves of burning need. Across the room, Jason hangs up his phone with a grim expression after speaking to the hospital. His fingers brush sweat-drenched hair from my forehead. Evan, I'm sorry, he murmurs. It's too late for suppressants now. Without intervention, this could cause permanent damage. His calloused palm trails from my temple to cradle the back of my neck. I have to give you a temporary mark. The scent of alpha pheromones thickens around us, dark pine resin and frostbitten wilderness swallowing me whole. When his thumb presses against my swollen gland, the reality crashes over me. The boy I've known since childhood isn't just any alpha. He's a prime. Jason, don't. My voice cracks as I struggle weakly. I'd rather die than let you. Shoo, little star. His eyes burn with unfamiliar hunger, voice roughened to gravel. One bite. Just let me ease your pain. I wake to antiseptic sterility stinging my nostrils, the throbbing ache at my nape resurrecting last night's humiliation. How he'd pinned me despite my screams, flooding my system with enough pheromones to fell a bull elephant. Spotting the perpetrator calmly seated nearby, I yank his sleeve with shaking fury. Jason, you fucking marked me. The door swings open, interrupting my tirade. A doctor scans his clipboard, amused eyes darting between us. Your boyfriend nearly cried carrying you into ER last night. Glad to see you're feeling spirited. He's not. My denial dies as Jason squeezes my hand. He accepts the medical report with that infuriatingly composed demeanor, brow furrowing at the findings. Doctor, he's been unconscious for 24 hours. Are there perfectly healthy Omega? The physician assures. Drowsiness and mild anxiety are normal after first marking. Though, he eyes my monitor beeping faster. Newly presented Omegas have volatile biology. Keep suppressants handy. And lots of close contact with your alpha, cuddling, scent sharing. His grin turns sly. Protected intercourse also stabilizes hormonal. Absolutely not. My cheeks burn crimson. Jason, however, types notes with academic focus. The traitor. When we're finally alone, he brushes a cool cloth across my forehead. Any dizziness? I've cleared your schedule for the week. Every tender gesture fans my rage higher. Let him play devoted caregiver all he wants. I'll be damned before enduring more close contact. Yet, as his winter forest scent wraps around me, treacherous heat coils low in my belly. Damn biology. Damn primes. Damn Jason most of all. Meeting his intense gaze, I swallowed my complaints. His overly cautious demeanor made me deflate. Since childhood, everyone around me, and even myself, had been certain I'd present as an alpha. Yet here I was, an Omega, needing space. I growled, Jason, if you dare tell anyone I presented as an Omega, you're dead. I know. Jason's eyes softened like sunlit waves. He ruffled my hair. But whether you're alpha or Omega doesn't define you. You'll always be Evan, one of a kind. After skipping classes for days, I slumped drowsily at my desk while the professor lectured. Beside me, Luke frowned at the bandage on my neck. Evan, what happened there? Mosquito bite. I lied, scratching it. What kind of mosquito keeps you home for days? He snorted. I glared at Jason's rigid posture in the front row, back straight, pen scribbling furiously. Such a tryhard. President Jason so hot, whispered two girls nearby. What's his secondary gender? Alpha? Alpha. The bastard. Wonder what his scent's like. Pine needles and snowfall. Annoyingly good. Imagine being marked by him. Hurts like hell but feels. Wait, my face burned. Memories flooded back. His gravelly voice, icy fingertips grazing my gland, the dizzying rush of his pheromones. My knees weakened. Evan, you smell like cardamom. Luke suddenly sniffed, leaning closer. Like omega pheromones. Jason vaulted over seats, draping his jacket over me. Cold pine enveloped my senses. Professor, Evan needs medical attention. He hustled me out as girls squealed. They're totally dating. Did you forget to take your suppressants again? Jason led me to the infirmary and drew the curtain around one of the beds. He frowned as he handed me a water bottle, watching me swallow the pill. The suppressants were prescribed to manage pheromone imbalance during differentiation. So what if I forgot? It was my fault, but facing my rival, I had to be stubborn. Evan, you're an omega now. Jason's sharp nose still bore the frameless glasses he wore for class, making him appear even more austere. He gripped my chin, irritation flashing in his eyes. Do you realize how many predatory alphas your pheromones could attract? If something happened when I'm not around, what then? His accusatory tone ignited my temper. Jason, stop acting so superior. I slapped his hand away, anger rising. If you truly cared, why did you vanish overseas without a word? You even cut all contact. I didn't even know you'd become an alpha. Silence swallowed the cramped space. I turned away, blinking back tears, already regretting my outburst. Then weight settled against my shoulder. Jason had bowed his head, his forehead pressing into me. I felt the tremor in his voice. Evan, I'm sorry. His apology made me sigh. We hadn't always been adversaries. As kids, I'd been the leader of our pack while he resembled a scrawny chick needing protection. Come adolescence, the tables turned brutally. He shot up half a head taller, sculpted 8-pack abs without effort. His controlling nature grew alongside his muscles. Initially, I didn't mind being looked after. But when he started dictating who I hung out with, which girls I talked to, we fought constantly. Yet his vulnerable moments always melted my resolve. After all, I was his only friend. Everything exploded summer of junior year. I'd mustered courage to confess to my crush, only to hear, sorry Evan, I like Jason. No big deal, I thought, until I found Jason pacing his room like a caged animal that evening. Eyes bloodshot. He seized my wrist the moment I entered. Are you dating her? His grip hurt as he demanded answers, voice ragged. Talk. Are you two together now? I snapped, my words turning venomous. What's it to you whether we are or not? You're getting defensive. Do you have feelings for her too? Jason froze. I knew I'd hit the mark. So these two had been secretly pining for each other. Just as I started to reassure him it wasn't a big deal, he did something unimaginable. He shoved me against the wall, burying his face in the crook of my neck like he wanted to bite me. His strength overpowered mine completely. Panicking, I kneed him hard in the stomach. As he doubled over in pain, I bolted without looking back. I was furious with Jason. Was this really necessary? So we happened to like the same person and I confessed first? Especially when she clearly preferred him. Was this how he treated his best friend? To teach him a lesson, I gave him the silent treatment for a whole week. Strangely, Jason didn't reach out either. Normally he'd come crawling with apologies within an hour of upsetting me. Unable to stand it, I went to his place only to find it empty. That's how I learned he'd abruptly moved overseas and blocked all my contacts. Sitting on his doorstep that day, the world turned gray. It was the worst day of my life. Weren't we supposed to be inseparable? I still don't understand. So why did you disappear without a word? I let Jason rest his forehead against my shoulder. When he stayed silent, I pressed on. And blocking me, what gave you that right? Anger surged as I shoved him away. You vanish overseas, then waltz back like nothing happened, constantly in my face. What makes you think we can just pick up where we left off? Why even come back? Should have stayed gone forever. My voice cracked, tears betraying me. Damn, this is so embarrassing. But I couldn't hold back anymore. Jason had returned right before college entrance exams. On the surface, things seemed normal again. We reconnected. I kept being playful while he kept lecturing me. But we both carefully avoided addressing that explosive fight. We weren't those carefree kids anymore. As I roughly wiped my face, sudden warmth enveloped me. Evan, don't cry. This is all my fault. Jason's trembling voice muffled against my hair as he crushed me against his chest. His jacket draped over me carried that familiar cedarwood scent, like being swallowed whole by an evergreen forest. There it was again, that traitorous heartbeat racing. Evan, I'll tell you everything. I'll explain it all. His whisper feathered against my skin. I went abroad because I suddenly presented and entered my rut cycle. My pheromones were too strong. I couldn't control myself at all. Foreign hospitals have systematic suppressant therapy for pheromones. I went for treatment. I was terrified that if I didn't leave immediately, I'd lose control and attack you again. That's it? I mumbled into his chest, my voice muffled. Then why block me? Were you that afraid I'd find out? Jason's laugh sounded bitter against my hair. Because if I heard your voice even once, I'd never have the strength to leave. At the school gate, Luke nearly dropped his jaw seeing me voluntarily get into Jason's car. Holy shit, you two made up? I shrugged. Sort of. Luke's face scrunched like he'd bitten rotten fruit. Evan, you traitor. What about our plans to hit the bars tonight? Jason's fingers tightened on the steering wheel. Those icy blue eyes pinned me silently, the picture of wounded dignity. This bastard was acting all pitiful again. Guilt twisting my gut, I hastily waved Luke off. All you ever think about is partying. I'm going home. The corner of Jason's mouth twitched upward as he started the engine. That night found me sprawled across Jason's bed, scrolling through my phone. The familiar comfort surprised me. When our families first forced us to share this penthouse during the estrangement, we'd moved through rooms like hostile ghosts. Now, this easy coexistence felt right, like reclaiming childhood privileges to hog my best friend's bed. I rolled deeper into the duvet, breathing in faint traces of frost and cedarwood. Not enough. The restless itch under my skin demanded more. What are you doing? Sniffing around like a puppy. I looked up to find Jason leaning against the doorway, steam still curling from his shower-damp skin. Relaxation softened his usually stern features. My face heated. Was this bastard trying to seduce me? His robe gaped open, water droplets sliding down defined abs toward that damn V-line. Okay, maybe I stared. What the hell did he eat to get built like that? Showing off? My throat went dry. Time to reclaim control. I sat up and crooked a finger. Jason, come here. He obeyed. The moment he leaned in, I yanked him down by the neck. Jason barely caught himself, one hand cradling my head before impact. I didn't release him, licking my lips. Hey, let me smell your pheromones. There was no response from him for a long time. Completely enveloped in Jason's shadow, I couldn't make out his expression. The silence stretched until a droplet from his damp hair fell onto my cheek. This is getting tedious, I muttered, attempting to push him away. Stop being so stingy with your pheromones already. His hand clamped around my wrist with unexpected force. Jason's thumb brushed slow circles against my pulse point. Do you understand what those words actually mean? What's there to understand? I frowned, thoroughly confused. His voice dropped dangerously low. Evan, that's considered a mating invitation. My brain short-circuited. I scrambled upright, nearly knocking him over. I swear that's not what I meant. Amusement glinted in his eyes. Relax. I know. His arms slid around me as cedarwood scent began permeating the air. Better? Needing your alpha's pheromones after bonding is completely normal. The tension melted from my shoulders as warmth pooled at my nape. Without thinking, I nuzzled into his chest, cardamom sweetness mingling with his crisp aroma. Our pheromones twined together, playful spice dancing around steady timber. Electricity crackled through my nerves at the fusion. Before I could process this new sensation, Jason's breathing turned ragged against my ear. His forehead vein pulsed visibly when I glanced up. Experimentally, I intensified my scent. Before the cardamom could deepen, Jason suddenly swaddled me in blankets like a human burrito. I need another shower, he choked out, fleeing before I could protest. He started avoiding me after that, working late, skipping dinners. Every attempt to confront him got deflected until, since when does Jason date? Luke hissed during our lunch, discreetly pointing across the restaurant. My fork clattered against the plate. There sat Jason with some smiling woman, his back to me, Ice flooded my veins as water spilled across the tablecloth. My hands shook while apologizing to the server. Oxygen suddenly scarce. That girl was Emma Brown. The one I confessed to during sophomore year. The same girl who had a mutual crush with Jason Ford. That Ford bastard is a heartbreaker. The bar's dim lighting throbbed as I slammed my drink. The ice cubes clinking like my rattling pride. A tail-chasing traitor. He swore moving abroad was to protect me. Some bullshit about not wanting to hurt me. The bottle shattered against the counter. Glass glittering like my shattered delusions. Lies. He just didn't want his rut cycles bothering his precious goddess. Luke watched me. Brows knitted like tangled earphones. Easy there. Lightweight. Rut cycles? So Jason's definitely alpha, right? Luke adopted his trademark wise elder tone. Look, we alphas prioritize mates over bros. You're an alpha too. Shouldn't you get this? Bullshit alpha. I'm an omega. Nothing like you stinky alphas. Wait, Evan, aren't you overreacting? Luke squinted. Anyone would think you're into Jason. My throat tightened. Into Jason? My cheeks ignited like malfunctioning neon signs. That traitorous heartbeat accelerated again. I gulped whiskey, words stumbling like a drunk tap dancer. Who likes him? We're strictly bros. Luke rose, shaking his head like a disappointed parent. Whatever helps you sleep. Mom's home tonight. Don't drown yourself. His retreating back disappeared into the crowd, leaving me with lukewarm liquor and colder realizations. I shrugged on my jacket post-payment, only to be yanked backward by a meaty fist. The stinking alpha leered, pupils blown, omega sense leaking. Let me bite you. I twisted free, voice arctic. Got a nose like a horny bloodhound? His punch came slow, drunken haymaker. My counter hook cracked his jaw. Pathetic. Regional kickboxing champion versus liquor-logged idiot? Please. He crumpled, dialing with shaking hands. Patrons scattered like roaches. Not my circus. Outside, shadows congealed into brick wall thugs. The lead guy's steel pipe found my gut before I blinked. Agony folded me like origami. Darkness. Not so tough now. Huh? Still wanna fight? The drunk alpha staggered toward me, yanking my hair to force my head up. His grin twisted grotesquely. Such a pretty face. Bet it tastes even better. The rancid metallic stench of his pheromones hit me. My neck glands throbbed as my breathing turned ragged. Heat flooded my limbs, leaving me trembling. Realization struck. This bastard was trying to force me into heat. As his alcohol-tainted breath neared my exposed throat, I jerked my knee upward. My boot connected with sickening precision against his groin. Fuck. He released me, howling as he crumpled to the sticky floor. I scrambled toward the bar's storage closet, slamming the reinforced door just as his goons lunged. Fists pounded against metal while I fumbled with my phone. The line connected instantly. Evan? That familiar voice shattered my last thread of control. Jason. My sob cracked through the chaos. Get your ass here now. Tinted windows exploded inward as Jason arrived precisely when the door gave way. I lay paralyzed as the lead aggressor loomed over me, until the entire room buckled under crushing pinewood dominance. Every alpha collapsed like marionettes with severed strings, faces contorted in primal terror. Through swimming vision, I saw Jason standing amidst the groveling crowd, his expression murderous. When he reached me, his hands shook while draping his coat over my trembling form. The whimpering drunk kept babbling. Just a joke. Swear to God it was. The air turned glacial as Jason gently covered my eyes. Close them, Evan. I obeyed. Metal clanged against concrete. Then came the wet crunch of breaking bones, punctuated by screams that morphed into gurgles. Jason's breathing never quickened. Home, he rasped hours later, lifting me effortlessly past dozens of Ford family operatives swarming the crime scene. As the armored car pulled away, I heard his final order through the partition ice-cold and precise. Go clean up the mess. Leave no one alive. My pre-heat hit me like a freight train before I could make it home. Still in the underground parking garage, Jason barely tried lifting me from the car when I desperately clung to him. Pheromones. My voice trembled with tears. It hurts. I need yours. Those storm cloud eyes darkened as his grip tightened around my waist. Evan, be good. Hold on a little longer. The soothing scent of cedarwood enveloped me, momentarily calming the fire in my veins. I brought inhibitors. Close your eyes, this'll help. My heart plummeted when he pulled that damn syringe from the console. Was he really choosing needles over claiming me because of someone else? Rage overrode instinct as I shoved him away despite the agony. Liar. You're a filthy liar. Huge tears streamed down my face. Studying abroad? Making up? All lies. You never cared. You want Emma. Jason froze mid-reach, clumsily wiping my cheeks. Evan, what are you? I saw you two at Café Laurent. If you didn't like her, why did we fight sophomore year? Why've you been avoiding me? Won't even give me a claiming bite. Hysteria rose as I pummeled his chest. Liar. Heartless liar. Found someone better and... He endured the blows silently until I collapsed against the leather seats. Only then did he gently massage my bruised knuckles. Listen, sweetheart. Emma's the Brown University Student Council president. We were discussing cross-campus robotics collaboration. His thumb brushed my lower lip. I don't want her. I loathe her. Why? Jason sighed, carding fingers through my sweat-damp hair. Because the person I love started crushing on her years ago. Before I could process this, he closed the distance between us. The kiss lasted less than a heartbeat. Soft as snowfall, tasting of winter forests. I barely registered it before he pulled back, forehead resting against mine. Evan. His strained chuckle ghosted over my lips. This is what I feel for you. Something darker than you can imagine. Calloused fingers traced my fading mating scar. When I heard you confess to Emma sophomore year, I nearly lost it. Wanted to chain you to my bed, make you cry my name until you forgot hers existed. His pitch-black eyes burned with primal possessiveness. Evan. Jason's voice roughened. I'm entering rut cycle. His fingers tightened against my nape. I've been keeping distance because I'm terrified of losing control. Of hurting you. The scent of pine resin intensified as his feverish skin pressed against mine. When our lips met, cardamom sweetness tangled with bitter pine in the air. Jason's growl vibrated against my mouth. You realize there's no turning back? Forum notifications exploded across my phone screen later that week. Attached photo. JPG. Holy shit. Student Council President Jason Ford is off the market with Evan James. Comment 1. Crying RN. Evan's literally the omega of my dreams. Comment 2. Back off y'all. Saw Jason death. Glare someone just for complimenting Evan's sweater last week. Sweats nervously. Mom, we're not even graduated yet. I protested as our mothers debated floral arrangements. Mrs. Ford squeezed my hand tearfully. You've saved my son from becoming a lovesick wreck, darling. When Luke barged in dramatically mourning, losing his bro to the dark side, Emma arrived with her girlfriend, rolling eyes at his antics. Through the chaos, Jason's arms stayed anchored around me, our scents now permanently intertwined. They gave Jason Ford and me a pair of matching couple necklaces symbolizing eternal unity. Jason and I exchanged a knowing smile. With our fingers intertwined, we shared a tender kiss. We have a lifetime of adventures ahead of us.